Under the Full Moon by Keely Wimbish. The moon was full, shining down on the meadow beyond her bare toes, highlighting pale lunar flowers that only bloomed when the sun's rays finally went to bed. She smiled at them, flashing white in return. The breeze created a melody through the trees as it whistled through narrow openings between branches, adding the percussion of falling pine cones, bringing dead leaves briefly to life with their fall. Nature was anything but silent, if only the world would stop long enough to listen. She found it drowned out everything else, making every worry or concern minuscule compared to the grandiosity of nature's abundance and endurance. She was blessed with the knowledge of it and bowed to its ability to humble her. Cool air danced across her skin, inviting her further into the natural meadow, causing the tiny hairs all over her body to rise in response as they accepted. She twirled through the tall grass, her fingers skimming blooms and disturbing sleeping fireflies that arose to join her in the midnight masquerade. The dark purple ribbon fell from her ebony hair, causing the curls to spring into step with her as she whirled faster and faster. Her breath sped up in pace with her heart as she unbuttoned her dress and let it fly beyond her fingertips. She glowed golden in the moonlight, laughing with delight at its warmth even as the chill in the air caused her nipples to rise. It was a pleasant conundrum she had no desire to solve. The trees blended with the stars into the grass and flowers and the tips of her fingers as she spun into oblivion until she eventually allowed the soft meadow to break her inevitable fall. She laughed with the wind, and their joy traveled miles beyond the simple meadow under the full moon. As it journeyed, it was no wonder the sound reached the young men's ears and perked their interest. She allowed nature to embrace her in the state in which she was born, relishing in the absolute freedom. There was the sound of leaves rustling and the soft patting of animals making their nightly treks, but there came one sound she didn't recognize. The snapping of wood and the harsh crash of rubber soles against the undergrowth of the forest filled her ears. She stilled, the peace of this blissful moment shattered by the arrival of others who came from a place that denied humanity. Her eyes closed softly with acceptance, and she breathed in the foreign scent of sweat, leather, and the musk of intrigue. She didn't run as they discovered the edge of the meadow, only to find a naked young woman spotlighted in the brightening light. Her eyes remained closed. Why should she run? They were hunters, trackers, and they would search until they found the source of joy that had reached them in this remote place. They would labor in their efforts until they could find it and snuff it out. For that is what men like these did. They created nothing, only destroyed. The moonlight seeped through her skin into her bones to the very marrow, heating them into transformation. She felt them grow and twist and snap, their metamorphosis silent against the stomping of boots hesitantly coming in her direction. Her senses sharpened, and even with her eyes shut, she could feel every movement of these ill-fated men. She heard every lustful breath and the increasing speed of their hearts, and with that thundering she could almost make out their thoughts. Although wouldn't anyone be able to read their thoughts? Men like these were all too predictable. People called her a monster. The hypocrisy of humanity would be its own downfall as they failed to recognize the true monsters that were within themselves. Their breathing all but stopped as they came upon her, their hearts skipping beats as they bore witness to what happened under the full moon. Her skin warmed as thick black fur enveloped her body, and her limbs elongated, bending beautifully as if in a dance. They each pointed into sharp claws, flexing with familiar strength. She opened her eyes to find 5 glowing pairs staring at her in awe. Or was it terror? She smiled, and the length of her teeth drew blood from her lips. She licked at it, tasting salt and iron, and it awakened something vibrant and primal that was exacerbated by the scent of fear and pheromones exuding from these intruders. She reached for one of them, holding her hand out to him as if an invitation, wrapping her claws around his midsection and twirling him in for a fatal kiss. Blood flowed like champagne, and she delighted in the indulgence. The others dispersed, whimpering like new babes as they faced her perfect grace. She bounded through the meadow as the moon asked for encore after encore. With her pirouettes and long reaches, she acquiesced, dancing atop the untamed lunar blossoms that begged to be painted her favorite color, red. Hearts stopped against her touch, and she lured them out into the open with gentle force, tasting and savoring each one in appreciation. Mother Nature applauded with the sound of cicadas and the howling of coyotes, and she joined them as she completed the finale of her fatal dance. The moon took a final bow of commendation before it gave its leave to make room for the sun. The caress of its beams disappeared beneath the horizon, and a chill came over her as her skin became bare and her animal instinct slipped into a restless sleep once again. For it was only under the full moon she was ever truly herself. She was ever truly free.